So, yesterday Digital Extremes held a Reddit AMA where the community got to ask them all kinds of questions about future content, reveals, quality of life changes, upcoming frames, primes, even lore. And we got some very interesting answers, even one about a dinosaur frame. So, I've gone through all of the responses on Reddit, which was a massive pain in the arse, but let's jump into it, shall we? Now, first up, in last night's patch, Temporal Archimedia got a bit of a boost. Upon first completion of it each week, you will get 15,000 hex standing, which is huge. On top of this, killing coder liches in a group with teammates now gives more rewards. Basically, killing them in a group will earn one additional heart cell for each coder lich defeated beyond the first lich, so 3 additional cells in a 4-man group. Now, on top of this, the Wolf of Saturn 6 is back in an event form for 27 more days, so if you don't have the Wolf's Sledgehammer, now is your chance to farm him and kill him until you can get all of the components and build that hammer for yourself before he disappears into wherever the feck he goes. Now, according to the Reddit AMA, PAX East in early May, I think it's around May the 8th, is going to be the reveal of choice for the next Prime Warframe by DE, which is likely your rally unless they go off course again and pick a different one, but it's also going to reveal at PAX where we go next in Warframe, where our next setting in this story will be. Now, we know that Warframe 99 is finished for the time being, and we're moving out of that area to back to the Origin system to continue the story, and there is a growing belief, I guess, within the community that our next destination might just finally be Tau. But with us leaving 99, more proto-frames haven't been ruled out in the AMA as well, but they mentioned us going back to something familiar. Maybe the Third Order Mother, maybe Kella the Thame, who might actually be Nessie Rusalka. It is very, very vague from them in the AMA, but I guess PAX East is going to show us what it is. It could be Bloody Sergeant getting a buff and kicking our arses across the system. Highly unlikely, but more likely it's something Man in the Wall related to advance that story, and the end goal might just be Tau. Now, I have seen some very plausible theories over the last few weeks in relation to Tau, and of course Albrecht's research, and even the sentience, so stay tuned for PAX East on the 8th of May to find out just exactly what that reveal is going to be. Now, there is no new Coda Lich weapons currently in the works. They said, I think, that all of the current Coda Lich weapons was all that they were working on, but that doesn't mean that they won't add ones in a future date if that weapon fit the actual theme. Now, with the Coda Lich system being so well received as well, they are currently looking at some of the older Lich systems, the Sisters and of course the Kuva Lich systems, but there is no plans to change them at the minute, but that doesn't mean that they're not taking notes, and that they won't change any of the older systems if they feel like it would make it a better system overall. They responded to more than one question about quality of life and accessibility changes for new players and making that experience more accessible, and it is something that they are spending a lot of time over the last while making sure that the new player experience is easier or better for players to jump into and actually make them stick around for longer. Now, Voruna was mentioned more than once during the AMA, with them acknowledging that her weapon is between Exalted and Pseudo-Exalted and it doesn't really fit, and that is something that needs to be looked at. They also said that the fact that Voruna's fort ability doesn't let her run on all fours, and they're looking at that as well, and how future them has the answer but they don't want to spoil it. So maybe a bipedal Voruna in her ultimate form is something that we will get in a future date, hopefully. Now, Valkyr was another Warframe that they mentioned for a rework when they were asked about it. Megan responded saying that Valkyr is on the list for upcoming reworks, and Megan wants her to get one as well since Valkyr is Megan's frame. So Valkyr's rework has all but been confirmed. We just don't know when it's going to drop. They also confirmed again that they have no plans to expand on the Umbra theme for Warframes or adding new, I guess, Umbra polarities or Umbra forma. Archon shards being transmutable is completely off the table, forget about that. Now, they mentioned Orden Karis or Ordis more than once and his story, and we know that the interest in Orden Karis' story is very, very high. So at some stage in the future, I guess you can expect more Orden Karis story, because it is a story that they want to explore more, and the community definitely wants it to be explored, considering how often this topic gets brought up. I mean, I spoke to Rebecca and Megan a few weeks ago in that interview, and Orden was mentioned and how it is one that is incredibly popular. And I'll be honest with you, if they do touch that story, I genuinely can't wait for it, because he was evil, he was dark, it was kind of grim dark, his story, but it was also really fucking cool as well. Now, they also were asked a question about Rel's story being complete. Now, they said that it is complete. He held back the indifference, but they've said that the consequences of his story, of him holding back that indifference, may not be fully concluded, so we're going to have to stay tuned for that. Now, obviously, I think most of us will put two and two together and realize that that's to do with the indifference, the lidless eye, I guess the man in the wall, right? Which is the current story we're on right now, and eventually it's going to come to a conclusion. You would hope. And when that happens, of course, we're going to know exactly what kind of influence Rel had on all of this story. Now, they joked about a possible dinosaur-themed frame. They poked fun yet again at Spider Frame, which we know isn't happening. They mentioned how Quincy was originally a first-person shooter-themed frame, which we knew about because Pablo had spoken about that. But that theme, of course, was scrapped. They mentioned there was a lot of questions about the design process of weapons, which Kaz responded to a lot. There was a lot of questions about cosmetics, whether we're going to get voice speaking actual companions in missions, whether I guess Tenno NPCs could be a thing. So there was a lot of questions, I guess, about random topics that maybe not everyone is going to be interested in. I will leave a link in the description of this video to that Reddit AMA, but the big things to take away from it is that an X Prime Warframe is going to be revealed at PAX East, as well as where we're going next in this story for Warframe, since we have stepped out of Warframe 1999, and whether it's going to be tower related or not. Oh, they did mention how Soulframe's gore effects in their game are so much better than what it is in Warframe, and how they might be taking some of that into Warframe as well. How blood splatter on the ground and things like that when you use your melee weapons could be a thing you're going to see in Warframe as well. But that's pretty much the main topics of the Reddit AMA. Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Have a great day, have a great week, and as always, thanks for watching.